Hey guys, we're Trekyards and we're back. He's Commander Cockings.
He's Captain Foley.
We're talking about episode 2.
We just did this.
I know.
An hour ago.
Now we're talking about episode 2 of season 5 of Discovery, Under the Twin Moons.
I never know the titles until you tell me, which is funny. I just watch it and move on. Yes, guys, of course, even though you've all watched them back to back, you know because we've told you already in part 1 that we've done them as 2 separate entities to appreciate them, enjoy them, and discuss them. We have occasionally done 2 back to back, and we've kind of forgotten parts of part 1, or like it's been so abrupt that, oh yeah, but this is our part 2. We just finished watching it seconds ago on the same sort of time frame. So genuine first reaction, Stuart, before we do a full live later on. What do you think of episode 2 and in comparison to episode 1?
I enjoyed episode 2 quite a bit more. I thought it was more action packed, and I really liked all the references. Spoilers again.
Full spoilers.
Promelians are mentioned, Beta Z, Trill, like there's a whole bunch of stuff in here that I really loved, and honestly it was beautifully shot, and it was also very vibrant.
A lot of green.
Yeah, and Tilly's back as like Tilly, like she actually feels like Tilly again, which is awesome. So yeah, there's a lot to like in this one, and I love the way it ended as well, which I saw coming about halfway through. I'm like, but yes, I thought it was a fun, well-paced episode, and I really enjoyed it. How about you?
I liked it less than last week / earlier / just happened, because I think for me that was such a high bar. This isn't a bad episode at all, but I preferred that for various reasons. I think this one was good. I thought it felt less packed. It's funny with opposite opinion, because I can summarize it in this week a lot easier. They go to planet, they find thing. That's all that actually happened, right? There was no real B plot, which is good. It's all kind of one big. But that they only did this last week. They did this much plot. Last week this has this much plot, which is okay. But I felt it was less packed. And also I felt like they paid for last week's episode 1's expensive episode by having not seen us just in a forest, which is almost free. You know, like the budget felt radically different, which is again fine. But I felt the cheap here, the expensive there. That said, I liked most of the character work. I thought the new captain was excellent. Really good characterization, like just giving it... Like you can see a seasoned science fiction actor who gets the genre, gets the character. Like you know what I mean? Just he's there, 100% already, which is really good. I like Burnham for the most part. Promelian was lovely. I kind of integrates things canon again. Really like that. We learned less, but the ending really helped give this one a good send off, because something I was wondering where they're going to end, what sort of beat to end on. Because it was kind of like gently simmering down. So to give that as a beat, I thought was a really good endpoint.
I was just wondering, like I assumed that Rayner was going to take over as like her second in command, but still be a captain. So it'd be 2 captains, one with like 30 years of Starfleet experience. They're going to butt heads. They're going to, no matter what. I just wondered how the 2 captains thing would work, and that was answered. So yeah, there's a lot to really kind of take in, and it's going to be great to see Captain Rayner. Or I like the character, I really do, and I like the actor, so I'm looking forward to seeing a lot from him and seeing how him and Burnham get along. So
yeah, that first scene I thought really was very, very important, the quote-unquote trial, because she, and we've talked about this in TNG, sometimes the truth is what matters, sometimes Starfleet's what matters, and Picard gives different speeches based on the situation, even though each sort of negate each other. So in this, you could either argue if he was played as a bad captain, she would betray him, quote unquote, and just spill the beans and be like, you betray the Federation ideals because this, and this. But knowing he's going to be a hero, they were like, she's going to go do the captain code, actually respect him, and play, balanced. I thought that was really mature of her, that she was like, I mean, technically I disagreed, but I can see the entire perspective. He was running the super secret directive that he's done many times, which means in the annals of history he's not going to get criticized, because that's like, he's allowed to do that and it wasn't his fault. You can't predict every move the bad guy's going to make. They're bad guys. You can't not do a thing because they might copy you. It's an argument, but a silly argument. It's fine if you're going to punish somebody, but not if you're going to whatever. So I thought that was a really important scene to show they were kind of, the respect was there, like right from the start, which allowed you to know, okay, there'll be sort of equals going in. Of course, he's a far more experienced officer than she is. My goodness, I mean, we've seen her entire career, give or take. A bit of Vulcan on the Shinjo, didn't do too much on Shinjo. Discovery, the future, like that's it. He had ensign, lieutenant commander, captain, 30 years of captain. Like that's radically more experienced. And if this guy's obviously an alien, if he can live twice as long, he might have been in Starfleet for 70 years.
I was wondering if he was 30 years captain, but at the end he says 30 years of Starfleet service. So I don't know how many years of that were captaincy. Because I thought 30 years as captain as well, and like how long is his lifespan. But then at the end he did say 30 years of Starfleet. I wonder if he's meant to be an
Ocampan with the years, which I hadn't even considered. Maybe
I don't know. The years are kind of throwing me off a bit.
Great subtle makeup. I still think though he could be 30 as captain. He's a service. He means to the chair. I think you could still take it as that because he's old enough to be 30 years in captain. And obviously Vance, they might have only met once he raised his own rank to say a captain. So I think we'll find out. But he's kind of Lorca a bit in the abstract sense.
I like him.
Yeah, but without that darkness. But still the edge, but it's you understand it straight on. Like, if he's the villain, that'd be a super bad thing. If he goes dark, that'd be a bad thing. Like, he's just doing everything for the right reasons, but guess what? As Picard knows, sometimes the right reasons equal a bad thing happen. Life, right? So second in command's an interesting choice. What did I say an hour ago? She leads the mission. Why the hell is she leading the mission on the planet? I don't freaking know. But now he'll be the one in the captain's chair, which means he is he is now the captain of Discovery because she's always going to be missioning.
Like I said, they're going to butt heads. Like, she's going to say keep the ship in orbit. He's going to go do his own thing. He's going to go do his own thing based on experience and stuff. So, but no, like I said, Tilly's back as Tilly. I mean, last season I didn't get a very good Tilly vibe off of her. She had changed.
Well, she was trying to be the command. They didn't know where to go with her, so they thought, let's make her second in command, which they entirely have abandoned. Teachers obviously commanding in its own way, but they went for this and they went back to there.
And they've already got that little, the students aren't really engaging. They're not getting the point of the mission. They got all the fundamentals. You're already getting that bleed over into what's going to become Starfleet Academy. And seeing her work the problem and then having Rayner show up, I think that was really well done. Really, really fun. So,
and yeah, it's funny when you watch him back to back, he's played as slightly a dick in episode 1, like a bit. And even Burnham says, I don't like him. He's a person I've liked least since I've been in Starfleet, or since I came to the future, which is obviously like he could be the villain. But then you have to reverse that. He's a good guy. But in episode 1, Tilly was the genius that hacked Starfleet without any problem. In this episode, he outsmarted them because they were entirely out of their depth, which is so weird because they shouldn't be in theory. But obviously, you've got because Tilly was an engineer when she came on board. And Adira is, I don't know what, science person, just smart. Just general science, right? The fact they can't problem solve in a certain way is good. I liked that. It brings them down. But last week they were both, in a sense, geniuses. So to go down is odd. Again, contrast factor. But to him coming in was like, well, we've made him seem a little bit daft in episode 1 a little bit. So we're going to raise him back up in this one. But at least it's common sense stuff, right? And it is daft to think they could have cloaked special future tech 2,000 years ago. Like, Tilly! Probably not! But you forget the obvious, right?
To be fair, I mean, the Promilians were known for their battle tactics, and they had advanced tech, like, when humans were still, like, in caves kind of deal. So I had no problem thinking that they could have that, but I did like the way that was explained. So, yeah.
But Picard also said in the episode that they're bare bones basic today, so they knew they were rustic. Well, I mean, I'm shocked we didn't see any. It would have been nice to have seen like a Promilian battlecruiser in orbit. I know they're rare as all hell. They didn't need to, but it would have been nice to see a little more Promilian, literal Promilian stuff. But that's okay. It would have been nice. And hey, we got giant Picard Season 1 reference. You know, the old secret name Romulan, a name for yourself, a name for your lover, a name for your family. Every door's got a back door. Not my favourite bit of Trek canon to utilise, of course, Season 1, but it's interesting and they used it and it made sense and it's. So
we've already got a few checks on that bingo card.
Yeah, which is fine, right? That's the stuff they're going to want to link to. We've also got TNG, we've obviously got whatever. A little bit too much for me, Burnham and Saru in almost the exact same framing. I think 4 conversations, the exact same. Burnham with a shoulder, looking at Saru, because they can't do much. He's like 2 foot taller, and it all felt the same.
I love the callbacks to like the first episode and their relationship, and it's kind of come full circle, and they both have faith and encourage each other, and I think bring each other up. I think that's really, really good. So yeah, I enjoyed those scenes actually.
There's just too many of them and shot the exact same way. is all, and feeling cheap. And it is a bit odd to have also, it was like 6 minutes in to have that sort of, right, pause the plot, let's have the heart-to-heart in a forest, we just started the episode. Like, pacing-wise, it's like, that's not the right time to have that scene. It's a weird time to have that scene. It's okay, but it's just like, oh, we're going to stall the episode already. It's fine, just, again, the cheap episode to fund last week's. I get it.
And then the whole mall thing with Book recognizing her and being related to like one of the previous Cleveland Bookers.
His the guy that he took the name from because he died. Yeah. He was his mentor. Yeah.
At first I thought it was like his daughter or something, but I'm glad it wasn't. But yeah, that's an interesting twist that'll probably come into play at some point.
Well, it grounds it. It does give you obviously a small world syndrome.
Small universe, yeah. And this, before you continue, that's the other thing that bothered me. This is our corner of the world, but not the whole thing. And then later, Burnham and Vance are talking, and it's like, I've tried to tell them that the world's changed. For today's writing, yes, we're on a world. This is a universe, a galaxy. I wish they would have replaced world with galaxy. It was a small pet peeve of mine, and they did it a few times.
Or quadrant.
World. Quadrant, perfect. Yes, something like that. World just threw me.
Especially as, if he was born on Earth, they haven't been to Earth for 60 years. Like, his world, he's not had a world in decades. They just got one, etc. It's a good twist. It really brings Booker in. It's unnecessary, of course, but it's interesting. It's like you can only have so many twists, So it's not like, wow, she's from the past. Wow, she's an alternate timeline. Like, it removes all those more grandiose ones with a very, very small twist, which is, like structurally it's a small twist, but it leads to grounded story things. Like, we don't need an end of the world. And of course, power of creation is a start of the world problem, of course, but it's not actually a universe killing, which is good. And her being related to the guy, that's interesting. Although I can't think they're going to be like orphans together or something from a child. I thought he was trying to buy the device from them. I didn't think he was just going to say, oh, Starfleet should get it. You never thought that was going to work. I thought he was going to try and offer them money, and I thought that was the point of the scene. It was a bit like this. Wasn't as good a scene it could have been. And bloody hell, Stamets call it engineering. Sir, it is not engineering. You are factually wrong.
I noticed that too. They're just trying to retcon the fact that that's the engineering room because we've never actually seen it. Well,
it's not, and we know it's not. So he is wrong.
He's a psychiatrist. He's making sure everybody's mental health because that's what you were doing. I asked how you were doing. I love that.
It was and working out them in love. Logical, and it really ties in with Burnham, obviously. They've gone for a nice integrated plot, because without having to introduce a brand new alien race, those giant sci-fi things are great, but the fact is we know who the preservers are. We know who they've done, thank you, by utilising a lot of the canon, we don't need to explain it quite as much, which means we can just go into the character stuff more, which lets us learn and see, and I thought they handled that pretty darn well, which they don't often do in the grand scheme of Discovery. Pretty damn solid. You could probably edit it down a little bit.
I'm impressed with these first two episodes, honestly. I've gone into this season saying, I hope this is their best season of Discovery. We'll see if that holds up. So far, it's been doing pretty good. So I'm just hoping they stay the path, stay the course, and just...
Because even just incredibly solid can beat other seasons, Because 4 was padded, 3 had some other things, 2 and 1, of course, their own problems. Like, just to be really solid would be a blessing. And it's a nice sci-fi plot. Power of creation is a sci-fi. Or back on that briefly, I said my biggest peeve is that, again, Burnham and Saru, why the hell are they the ones on the planet? If they'd brought a security team with phaser rifles, they would have been fine.
Or even the two of them with some security officers.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Because they showed that they can easily destroy the drones with a few phaser blasts. They did it, and Saru uses spikes and killed 3, which cool. I do not buy for a second. They're not that powerful. Yes, the metal's 2,000 years old, but you were designed to beat spears, and that's what they are, ostensibly. They're not like hyper advancement. Like, they're not. They're bone, right? Saru bone. So if they only had 5 to 10 officers with phaser rifles, they'd be fine. There'd be no threat. So the fact that they didn't do Starfleet procedure led to the situation. Now, I'm fine with the EMP. That's fine. Although, why didn't kill their own suits?
Yeah. I mean, Tilly did make a point of saying that it affects stuff even now.
Yes.
So I was going to say maybe they're shielded, but Yeah.
And it's fine if they're shielded, but you would think a modern phaser would EMP for modern tech. Otherwise, what's the point? You know, and it would have been cool to see them like, oh god, lose our own tech to solve the problem. But that would have ruined it. But it felt like the stakes reduced by, especially they made a new phaser. It's like, well, we'll just do it again, which is okay. And like, I guess my last note, I will commend them tremendously for not Discovery Season 1ing it. When they say, well, we have to blow up the thing, which might destroy the entire planet. You know, not literally, but like, destruction. And Bell's like, but it's our only chance. We've got to do it, which is a common, like, it isn't. Take a second or think around it. So I was like, or plan B. Oh, that's much smarter, much more sciencey, much more Trek. Discovery Season 5 did. That I thought was great because it showed how, like, the past tone is not good. That's a good thinking, and it saved the day in a much more elegant way. I thought that was a really, really nice little moment. That was like, yes, good. Nice job.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what comes next. I'm glad Rayner is still on board. And,
he's. I'm really enjoying his character, so I'm really excited to see where he goes. Could be anywhere. Hopefully not villain. That'd be nice.
Yeah. Anyway, comment down below what you guys thought about this episode, please. We want to hear from you guys. Also hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed and click the notification bell icon. And join us for the live review of this as well, which will be later today at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you guys want it. We got it. Come and join all the stuff. We always talk about Trek, and we love it. So join us and be part of the community.
And if you want to support what we do here and have done for a very long time, Patreon is a monthly donation service, or join the channel is a monthly donation service, but on YouTube. Hi, you're on YouTube right now. Or Super Chat during the live, which is just the button, Super Chat, any amount, or Super Thanks on any video, including this one, Stuart, like right now. Thank you. Those that did. Or just PayPal, trekyards@hotmail.com. Anything and all helps us a lot, so thanks if you can.
That's right. So until next time, he's Commander Cockings.
He's Captain Foley.
See you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.